1. Going up to the first pull. The hunter is going to hero pull 1 for us. Make sure you're interrupting the lightning bolts. Don't forget that lightning bolt is going to pick a random target and shoot a bolt of lightning at that target. You want to make sure you are interrupting the lightning bolts as often as possible. You can use interrupts or CCs on the lightning bolt. The other thing you want to watch out for on this pull is the smoke coming out of this pull. So this guy, the quartermaster, he's going to pick a random direction and shoot smoke out in that direction. Once his smoke fades, he is then going to shoot an orb in that direction. His orbs go out, I don't know, not that far, and they come back. So if they missed you the first time, they'll get you the second time. Make sure you are not in the orbs. Good note here is you can actually unlock the mounts before it's time to mount. So you don't have to worry about unlocking the mounts after the pull. You can unlock them during the pull. Just be very careful not to get hit by any mechanics while unlocking them. As the tank, I just put on a shield before I start to unlock them, just to be safe. This pull here has 4 guys who need to be interrupted. All of their lightning bolts need to be interrupted. I would recommend interrupting and CCing them kind of staggered, unless you can CC and interrupt them multiple times. Just because if you CC them all at once, they're all going to cast lightning bolt together the next time they cast. So I would be very careful about AoE CCs. They are helpful and they will stop this pull from killing you. Just be mindful of the next cast and make sure that there's somebody in charge of the next cast. What I do as a Death Knight is I have Death Grip, that's 2 CCs. I have Abomination Limbs, which pulls them in multiple times, but it's a long cooldown, so you can't really rely on it. And then I also have Mind Freeze. And Mind Freeze is the Death Knight's actual interrupt. Now, it's weird, but Death Knights actually have to talent for their interrupt. So if you are a Death Knight that does not talent for an interrupt, I would recommend talenting for an interrupt for this key. And I have seen a couple of Death Knights who do not talent interrupts. It's kind of... I don't even know. They just don't. Careful to energize Barrage. We're gonna go around and grab the ads on the other side next.
I don't have a target.
Lightning Bolt. Make sure you're interrupting Lightning Bolt.
Yes. Feed. All of you. Feed on the void.
I should have pulled the ads in the middle. Because these guys, they don't actually pat all the way down here, so we can't pull the pat without pulling the guys in the middle. So I should have pulled the guys in the middle before the pat came across. Now I know sometimes you look across and you think, well, the ads you already have 90%, so you just pull the next pull now. The problem with chain pulling like that is the party's dots are all stuck to the last pull. So even though they have 90% and you're going to chain pull them into the next pull, they're not going to die as quickly as the first pull, just because the first pull they're all ticking with the dots that everybody has already put on them. Be careful of those circles.
Mortals. Scrabbling after any shred of control.
And the ads in. Lightning Bolt. Make sure you interrupt Lightning Bolt. Watch those orbs. The orbs are the affix this week. You want to make sure you're picking up the orbs every time you see them. 30% left on the ad, and then we are going to go back around and pull the boss.
far away to find the target.
Pulling the boss. Wild lightning. Be careful with the wild lightning. Beams coming out of the boss. You want to make sure you do not stand on those vents. Don't forget that the beams are going to shoot at the vents, and you do not want to stand on those vents when the beams shoot at them. I tried to hook him with the orb, I didn't make it. Pulling the boss back off the vents again. Watch those circles. 61% left on the boss. Wild lightning. Step left or right out of the lightning. It's weird. The boss didn't jump back to the center. He like glitched back to the center. Boss is turning in the opposite direction. Try and stay on the smooth sky. That way. I almost got his orb, but then it went the other way. 41% left on the boss.
Too far away.
32% left on the boss. Boss is almost dead, and then we are going straight down. Watch the beams coming out of the boss. Be careful not to get hit by any of those beams. You do want to make sure you are walking along the edge of the boss ring so that you can continue to hit the boss as melee. If you're ranged, you can just walk a ways ahead, shoot the boss a couple of times before the circles come, and then walk a little bit more. I'm not going to say range is easier. They both have their own challenges. On this boss specifically, though, I think range is easier. Just on this specific boss. Spread out with your circles. I keep hitting the moose with all the mechanics. If you thought I was trolling him, I would not even blame him for thinking that. I'm not trolling him, but keep hitting him with all the mechanics. Test. There we go. My headphones turned off again. That's okay, we're back. Be careful in this pole with the bulb-looking rocks. Don't forget that the bulb-looking rocks are going to put a debuff on you that reduces your healing taken. As some classes, that may not matter, but as a Death Knight specifically, it does matter that your healing is that your healing received is or that you have a healing debuff on you. We're just gonna say that. Because this Festering Void dot is reducing our healing received by 12%. And it's not just from the healer. It's from you as yourself as well. Death Knights rely heavily on their healing. So it's definitely not something that you want. That dot is not something you want to deal with ever. But while you do have that dot on you, while you are taking reduced damage, you want to make sure you're keeping the damage from hitting you. So instead of taking the damage and healing through it like you normally would play a Death Knight, I would recommend shielding the damage before it has a chance to hit you. So I would use something like Iceborne Fortitude, Tombstone, or Anti-Magic Shell, just to keep the damage from hitting you in the first place. Careful those circles. Watch the Void Crusher.
Mortals, scrabbling after any shred of control.
I don't actually know where the Void Crusher went. He just kind of disappeared a second ago. Perfect orbs. On this pull, we have 2 Void Crushers. Void Curse Crushers, which means we have 2 guys who apply the dot to you that reduces your healing taken.
I need a target.
The only reason I would not recommend running down that hall and pulling the entire hall is because of that healing debuff. If the healing debuff did not exist, then you could run down the hall and pull the entire hall. Void Bolt. Make sure you're interrupting Void Bolt. As soon as these guys are at about 40% health, I'm going to pull the next ads. Careful of the ads. Arcane Void. Watch that Arcane Void cast. Make sure you use defensive.
Mortals, scrabbling after any shred of control.
Hello, Zombizard. And welcome to the community. Thank you for the follow. How are you? And what do you mean? Also, that's a cool name, Zombizard. I've heard a couple of cool names recently, but Zombizard is definitely original. Also, do you happen to play Unholy? Because that would be awesome. Pulling guys on the right and left.
Come then, face me. I will stand proud on the debris of your
All the ends.
host. The Void Riders follow me
I'm gonna
now.
pull the boss next.
Yes, feed.
I command this rookery.
I should have checked and made sure the healer had mana, but he probably does. Chaotic Corruption. Be careful with Chaotic Corruption. Rush Reality. Make sure you are not standing in the circle during the Crushed Reality. Dark Gravity. Step out of the Dark Gravity. And 6% left on the bus. Rush Reality again. 70% on the boss. Okay, good note is a Death Knight. Somebody showed me this the other day. You can use anti-magic shell and suck in that arrow, and it just disappears. It does look like both Death Knights can do it, because I'm pretty sure that was our other Death Knight who actually got the circle. I don't think it was me. Kind of makes Death Knights a necessity in this key, honestly.
Your death is my directive.
Careful with the circle. %37 left on the boss.
Your death is my directive.
And over the other side.
My valor, your ruin.
Post up first Friday in April. Yes, it is.
Your death is my directive.
Watch that Crush Reality. Careful, the beam is coming through.
Scrabbling after
100%.
Your death is my directive.
5%. As soon as this guy dies, we're gonna go through the big doors and pull the next 3 ads. Pulling through the doors and pull the next 3 ads. Void Bolt, watch that Void Bolt cast. Circles coming off the boss. Interrupt Void Bolt. You gotta make sure you're interrupting Void Bolt every time.
I do not
28% left on the side, and then we are going down. Because of what we skipped up at the top, we just have to pull a bunch of extra stuff.
To rescue. The lift is out. If
But I
we
actually
want
had
to
a
keep
healer
going,
recommended to me a
we
while
will
ago
have
that
to
we
go
skip
down
all
the
that stuff at the top.
Stormrider way.
And I was like,
Follow
nah,
me.
it's not that hard to pull. But I was watching a tank run this last night, and he actually skipped those ads as well.
What did Gorin bring here?
So we are going to try that out.
We have to take
Try
it
skipping
down.
the ads. I would say that it works, and like it was super successful right now. But the catch here is... Hold on. I don't remember what the catch was. I know there was a good reason for there to be a catch. Watch the purple circle. Void excavation. %left on this ad. So right now this ad is... His damage is increased by 36% because we killed all the small ads on him. Apparently this guy enrages if you kill the small ads on him. I had no idea, but it is a good thing to know. So you want to be careful with this rock ad because he enrages. Honestly, we probably should have...
Feed on the void. Let its
pull these ads together. Get ourselves a big hodgepodge, then we are going down to the next area. Watch those blue circles. Okay, we are going to go pull the next pull. So we are pulling the pull here on the left. Then we are also pulling this pull on the right. Careful with blue circles, don't stand in any of the blue circles. Watch the orbs coming out of the ad. Void Bolt, make sure you're interrupting Void Bolt.
scrabbling after any shred of control.
I need to get closer.
Watch those Void Crushers. As soon as these guys die, we're gonna pull behind the boss. He's saying Void Crush. I thought he was calling mana. I'm like, you're not a healer. Let's move it on the same realm. I had a luck because I was like, maybe he is with the healer actually. Careful those orbs. Void bolts. Interrupt Void Bolt. don't have a lot of room for error right now because we don't have a lot of time left in this key. So we are going to try as hard as we can to time this.
All of you, feed on the void. Let
Okay,
its
those blue circles. Don't
darkness
stand in any of
fill
those blue
you.
circles. Apex. You can't stand in the apex. Healer did not die. Dude, the wing from that dragon over there looks like the angel wings. Careful of those purple circles. Don't stand in any of the purple circles. As soon as this guy dies, we're gonna pull the pole off to the right. Actually, we're just gonna grab it now. Nope, 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 nope. I don't know what I'm targeting, but it says target needs to be in front of you.
Scrabbling after any shred of control.
Void bolt. Make sure you're interrupting. Void bolt. Void bolt. Make sure you're using CCs or interrupts on the void bolt cast. Be careful not to get hit off the edge when the boss stands up. Watch these purple circles. This would actually be a full mount. I don't know where bigger characters would sit, but a gnome could totally sit on this guy's head. Knockback. Be careful with the knockback. 6 minutes, and we are short 1%. Careful with your health. Take the apex in. We had a second to grab each other's apex, but we failed. Remember, your goal here is to break the boss's shield so we can do damage to the boss's health. After the shield has been broken, we deal damage to the health. We are then going to have to break the shield again and deal damage to the boss's health again. Make 4% left. Don't move, and I will get the frontal off you. 4.5 minutes. Don't forget that every time he gets his shield back, his shield's gonna be bigger. So I'm gonna be very careful with that. .61% left on the boss. Very careful with your health. Make sure you do not die. We have 4 minutes 20 seconds left on the key and 50% left on the boss. The boss is going to get a really big shield after this phase, so we are going to have to break it as quickly as possible. Basically, you always want to make sure you're killing the shield as quickly as possible. If you get a blue circle on you during this boss fight, run it out to one of the pillars. The pillars will be standing on 3 sides of the land. This Death Knight and I are like juggling the affix. It's hilarious. Already 6% left on the boss. Almost dead. Dang. I missed the shield face. Careful the Oblivion Blade. So I put my orb in the Death Knight, but the Death Knight did not give me his orb. So the boss still ended up with 1 orb inside of him.
I don't have a target.
Oh dang, 1% left. Oh, less than 1%. The Hunter's add-on says that we need 0.91%. Careful that Umbral Wave. We have 1 minute 40 seconds to kill this ad, but we're gonna kill this ad. Void Bolt. Void Bolt should always be interrupted.
Feed. All of you. Feed on the void. Let its darkness fill you. Our agreement